Hi everyone, welcome back to another review. Today I'm reviewing the Temple Bounty, which retails for $199.99, and this thing is massive, and I got a lot of thoughts about it, so we should get into it pretty quick. So starting off with the build, before we get into any of this, there is a little display stand down the bottom. I personally don't like it that much. It feels kind of like it creates a very nice look going up. However, I personally don't like it. It feels kind of flimsy. As I'll just show this, you move it slightly, like I barely pushed it, but it doesn't really stay down too much. So what I'm going to do is lift up the bounty, move it to the back very carefully, and here we've got the stand. You might be thinking, oh, it's upside down. It's not. You're not supposed to have it like that. These tabs are supposed to slot into the bottom bits of the bounty, which I'll show you once I actually get into reviewing it. And trust me, this video is going to take a while, so get ready. But yeah, it's a very simple stand. I'm happy they included it. Just feels like it could be a bit more stable, not have just 4 connection points in a pretty flimsy feeling bar at times. Yeah, let's get into the main review. So starting at the front, first of all, everything on the sides is mirrored either way, so I'll only really be showing you this side. But if you really care about checking the other side, you can just check some of the photos on the LEGO website, as again, it is exactly the same. There's nothing changed until we get into the interior. So coming along the side, there's this very nice detailing, very nice build even. These little wisp sort of tags. I believe they have a T and a B on it for Temple Bounty, obviously. And then you get multiple of these throughout the set. So there's 4 on either side. I think there's a few more scattered throughout the insides and stuff. But yeah, coming along, you've got a nice gold trim throughout the top, and then we get to our first sticker, which says Temple Bounty. So as most bounties do, we have the Destiny's Bounty or we have the Temple Bounty, one of the two. We usually have it on the side. We had the Lamb Bounty on the Lamb Bounty. I don't think we had the Hydra Bounty on the Hydra Bounty. I'll have to double check that. But yeah, then we've got these mint green wisp pieces. So it's the same color that the Dragonians mainly use, and there's a few of them which simulates motion, so the ship's, you know, flowing through. I don't know, it's kind of, it just adds to the feel, and it's only 4 pieces, so it's nothing crazy to the piece count. Coming down, we've got a small anchor, obviously very, very small version of the actual thing we see in the show. Speaking of the show, yes, I will be reviewing this as we have seen it in the show. If you don't want spoilers, it's not going to be anything crazy. It's really just a few small things. So it isn't anything crazy, I don't think, from memory. But yeah, we'll go over it. At the front here, we've got a sea-bound blade piece, which sort of feels out of, just randomly thrown in there, but I do like the shaping of it, as if you were to follow that curve up, it would meet the front here. Going around the hull, we eventually reach a room, which we'll get into once we get into the interior. It's just a simple box. We've got the roof here, which you can flick up, but there's really nothing inside. You can probably store something small in there if you wanted to. And then coming around to the sides, we've got our 2 jet engines, or I mean, yeah, they are engines, which there's just a knob at the back, which you just turn a few times. I might be going the wrong way. Yeah, I was. Okay. And then you just open it up. And that uses some more cloth pieces. So there's quite a few cloth pieces throughout this entire set. Obviously, the sails at the top, but then these bits on the side, and again, that is on both sides. Both sides are done using this little knob back here, and they just open our side sails / thrusters. Speaking of thrusters, down here at the back we have our 2 smaller thrusters and a little sort of dragon design. Before we get onto this stuff, I'll go through that later. as each of these sections can be pulled off. Not like that. This one, a lot of this build feels a bit flimsy. It's definitely made more for display than play, but there's still a lot of play features in it. So each of these sections can come off, and we will be reviewing them individually as they are. So that one, and then this one right here. Oop, there goes Rogue. So coming up to the front, on the actual build, we've got just some small deck space, a little gap here for some reason, and then the main head of the dragon, which sort of flows throughout. You saw it at the start. I'll go over it again once we put everything back together. But yeah, that looks really nice. And then we'll get into the interior and then all the exterior, put it all together, and then we'll go through everything just real quick all over again. So in our interior, we have three main sections. We have sort of the training area, the main sort of kitchen food area, and then sleeping quarters and the engine, which is counted as one. So coming up to this front area, you can see we've got a Lloyd katana on the side, Zen shurikens, and then two katanas just slotted in here on the sides. There's not too much in this area. There's some small paintings. There's the monastery, and then on the other side there is, I think that's the blacksmith, Pioneer's blacksmith. I could be wrong. I didn't actually check that. And then on the interior, you can see this little mannequin in there. You can take it out, but it's really hard, and it's really hard to get back in if you want to. Coming into the main sort of kitchen area, we've got our seats, so you can just sit someone down if you want to. So in this case, I'll get Wildfire if she wants to cooperate. There goes her hair. Whoopsies. Yeah, just get Wildfire to sit down. She can just sit down there. Very nice. Up on the wall, we've got a roller skate, which I think might be a reference to Season 4, like Tournament of Elements. And then just some dish. Again, on the wall, we've got more paintings and stuff. So we got Zane and Pixel, and then we got Chen's Noodle House, a heart, and a Source Dragon necklace. Coming on around to the other side, this is really hard to do on such a small desk. We've got a game console, obviously for Prime Empire, and then I like to think that might be Christophane, but I could be wrong, or a reference to Christophane at least. You can see there's some kitchen utensils on the sides there. I actually don't know what that's a reference to, so that's on me. And then on the other side, you've got the game, which Kai and Nia played back in, what was it, episode 2 or 3, trying to get Jay, back in season 3. Ooh. Okay, I see what the problem has been with this set. The engine has come out for some reason. Okay. Okay, coming on round to the end, we've got our sleeping areas. So again, I'll grab Wildfire. And these sort of like door pieces can be used as sleeping, like hammocks. So you just chuck someone in there if you want to. On this side, we've got a alarm clock, and on the other side, we've got a waffle. But most importantly, we have a little kit to create Kai's climber mech. This is important because it matches all the other mechs that we got kits for back in the workshops. So we were missing one. We were missing a mech for Kai, and there was just an open space in there. So that's what that's for. You can fold these up to give you more room if you need to, or I think fold them further down. No, you can't. And then that just gets us to the main engine. Again, this is where if you move that back piece, it will move these gears and then turn everything in. It feels a bit weird at times, like you're not always getting it out, as you do need to turn this back on a lot just to turn these ones. But it is a very nice play feature. I'm very happy that it's in here. Even if I think this back section is the weakest point of the set, as these back bits will just fall off constantly, and this has just sort of caused me a lot of trouble messing around with it. But yeah, that's the entire interior of the bounty. Let's move on to each of the smaller sections. So starting off with the middle piece, or I feel it is the weakest of all the pieces just because there's not much to it. We've got these big doors which can open up. That's what gets you down in terms of if you were a figure on the ship. That's what gets you down into the bottom. Very simple. You got one on either side. You've got the main mast here, which we'll go over in a second. You've just got a lantern to the side, which we've been getting a lantern in every one of the mainline sets. And these are so we can see the spectral Dragonians, which is very nice. That's seen in the show. I guess partial spoilers. But yeah, it's very nice. We've got two crates on the side, one with fish, the other with, I actually don't remember what's in it, because it's been a month since I built these sets, just as a pretzel. Nothing crazy. Okay. Yeah, sorry for such a huge delay on reviewing these. I've just been really busy, and I only have a few more of the smaller sets to do, so hopefully I'll be able to get those out. Planning on doing a huge recording session, which is what I'm doing right now. So when this video is out, they probably have all been recorded, but no promises. Going up onto the main mast, you can see this is sort of the back tail of the dragon, which looks very nice. You've got two lanterns hanging from it. Then coming up to the main mast, you've got the main source dragon symbol. This is a nice, like very nice feeling cloth piece. And it just has Temple Bounty repeated all throughout. Whew, it scared me. And then going all the way up, you just got a little lantern at the top as well. But yeah, that looks very nice. You can just grab it and slot it in the middle. And that is our center section of the bounty complete. So moving on to the front bit of the bounty, we've got here the main body. So this roof can come off, obviously. All the roofs can come off of each of their sections. We've just got a simple sort of build. There's just a sextant in there. And then, yeah, there's not much to it. Just a window and a door, which both don't actually have anything. They're just holes in the ship. There's two small candles to the side, but yeah, not much else to it. Coming up to the roof of it, again, we've got that main body. I'll be able to show you how it all connects once I put this on. And then just one of our smaller masts. This one says Temple, and then Temple Bounty through the bottom. And again, nice cloth piece, feels very nice, and it just slots up here at the front. It can be a bit finicky. I've also found this roof specifically to like to come off, even though I don't know what it is. The roof just comes off for some reason. But slot that in. Ooh, there. Something broke. Yeah, there's a lot of pieces throughout the set which just sort of fall off, which is understandable. It's a very big piece. Not everything's going to be stable, but yeah, that's one of my gripes with the set. On its own, when it's just sitting there, beautiful. Just not the best thing for play, but that makes sense. It is a $200 set, so I don't think many kids are buying it. But yeah, as you can see, the head starts here, go through the body, and then out to the tail at the back. But yeah, that looks very nice, and I'm glad that is a inclusion. So we still get our dragon for our bounty, even if it's not very conventional. Anyways, onto the back sections. So coming onto the bottom section, this is sort of like the main meeting room. It looks very nice. It's the biggest of the sections, for sure. You got a nice balcony on the side, this actual really nice angled window, and then another balcony on the other side. On the inside, you've got a letter, a quill, and a little spyglass, which you can take off and then use for a figure if they want to, you know, check up on, say, just how someone's doing. Or it can relate to this thing right here. So this is our table. I don't know why I said it like that. This is a table. Yeah, it's got a map on it. I think that's supposed to be the way, it's either the way to the underworld, which, as we see in episode 1, is important to Raz, Sora, and Aaron, or it's something to do with the Arc Dragon, but I could be wrong. However, this right here is where this little tool comes in handy. So this is our reveal blade. It's a lot harder to do it on this set compared to others, but you use the reveal blade. I'll just do it over the camera, and it creates a face, and it really highlights the markings of, you know, each of the points that are important. So the gate, the temple, the rock, the cave, or whatever, and then arrows and the path. Even though it is pretty obvious looking at it, you can see it all. It's sort of not, it's just a small little feature, and it's in all of our mainline sets except 2. But folding this up, you can then see this is our main control panel, which is kind of stupid considering you're now covering your main view. But on here, just some simple controls. You can see controls for the little wings on the side, and then just, you know, your generic kind of controls for the bounty. You got a red and a blue button. Yeah, not much else to it. You got a little T box up here with a statue. But yeah, it's very nice. It's a very nice meeting room. You can fit, I think, all the ninja in there, or a lot of them. I have. Oh. Anyways, yeah, you put that on the back, and I'll be right back, and we'll go over this last bit. So onto the final section. There's not much to it. You just got another roof, which you can take off over here. Again, that one's really flimsy. I don't know what's up with the roofs. I don't remember them being that bad when I first built it, but I could just be going crazy. But yeah, we got a steering wheel at the front here. You can fit maybe 1 or 2 characters, depending how you do it. But say we just have Wildfire here at the front. I mean, you kind of got to have Wildfire here at the front. It is Wildfire's ship, after all. And I feel like she would not be happy. But yeah, it's very nice, simple sort of steering wheel. On the inside, it's got a telescope, and then a ladder which comes down. That comes into the main section there. But yeah, not much else to it. You got lanterns, you got more of the wisp pieces on the side. But the main sort of part to this is the third and final sail, which says bounty, and then obviously temple bounty all throughout the entire bottom of this. But yeah, it looks very nice. You just grab this and slide it on top, and there you go. You got your entire bounty, again, dragon going all throughout. Looks very nice. Let's get to the figures, which honestly, half of them are kind of mid. Starting with the first figure, it's Wildfire. It's the same Wildfire we've been getting for a year and a half now. Probably going on to 3 years at this point. However, she hasn't been rumored for any... Has she been rumored for any of the January sets? I don't know. Maybe we might be getting a new Wildfire. Maybe not. Kinda... Yeah, don't got much to say about her. I'm not even going to re-record this because I genuinely dislike this figure so much now. Next up, we have Zard. Again, another repeat. This is our 3rd time getting him. I understand if he only came in the Arc Dragon and Focus, but then he came in the Rontu set, so you kind of have no point getting him in this set. You could have gotten one of the new members. You could have gotten Drix, because Drix only comes in 2 sets, but one of them's a small $10 non-canon set, and the other one's a 4+ set. But no, we got Zarked, the biggest fraud. Design is nice. I genuinely love Zark's design. Just the most useless character, and just one that we didn't need to come in a 3rd set, and to be the only Forbidden 5 member to come in 2 sets in this wave. We could have gone someone cooler. Or we could have gotten, I don't know, a completely different character that had nothing to do with, yeah, the Forbidden Five, as they kind of are irrelevant now. Not irrelevant, but, you know, not the most relevant anymore. Anyways, on to the other figures. Next up we have Rogue. This is our second time getting the full version of Rogue. He obviously comes in the Dragonian Storm Village from back in January, and then he also comes in, shocker, the Rogue Dragon Mech Rider, but that one doesn't have the armor piece, and I don't think it also has these weapons. So this is our second complete Rogue. I'm happy he comes in the set. I'm happy that we have 3 ways to get him, as he's definitely one of the more important characters going to Season 3 Part 2. But yeah, very nice design. The ninjas kind of match his design, which is nice. And then obviously, if you don't know, yeah, Jay's Rogue. Not a spoiler anymore. Not even a huge surprise, unless you've been living under a rock and haven't seen Season 3 Part 1, so I don't know why you're watching reviews on the Season 3 Part 2 sets. But yeah, this is Jay. He's cool. But again, kind of a mid figure, just for the fact of we've got him in 2 cheaper sets, unlike some of these other characters who 2 are exclusive. What am I talking about? But yeah, that's Rogue. So going on to the main ninja suits, our first one is Cole. So this is Cole's Spectral or Ghost Hunter. Again, name still hasn't been confirmed, and I don't know, I'm just rocking with Spectral because it sounds nice. I know people are saying, oh, but one of the designers said it was Ghost Hunter. Doesn't really mean too much. It's a designer. The designers don't choose the name of the suits most of the time. It's more to do with the show, and he just said that was the kind of thing they were doing, but they're not really ghost hunting. They're dealing with spectral dragonians. Sorry, that was just a little rant, but I call them the spectral suits. You deal with it. If you want to hear someone call them the ghost hunter suits, go find a different review, I guess. Because, like, it's my opinion. I'm entitled to my own opinion. Sorry for that tangent. Yeah, I really like Cole's suit. Orange does feel a bit weird at times. It feels very blocky, obviously earthy, but not... It just feels way too blocky. I don't know how to explain it. Obviously, Cole is the least rare in the set, as he does come in the combo vehicle thing. I forgot what it's called. That's gone out of my brain. That's really bad. But yeah, very nice design. I love the new dragon armor. Obviously, they use their hair pieces. A lot of them use their hair headband pieces, which I'm kind of sad about. I really want the original ninja hair back. Obviously, I have multiples of them, but some people are missing out, and I feel bad for them. He comes with the reveal blade, which we went over before, and yeah, there's not really much else to say about Cole. Very nice figure. Might be my least favorite of the spectral suits. I do need to go over all of them again, as it's been a minute. Next up is Nia, and Nia, everything but the main armor piece does come in a 4+ set, so technically she's the least rare, but also armor piece is exclusive, which is in a nice light blue or medium azure. I forgot what the color's called, but it's the Nia color. She's gone back to having the full gunmetal gray outfit, which feels kind of weird because recently with Dragons Rising, we've been getting the mainly blue focused Nia. So getting one that's more gunmetal gray focused just feels off compared to the other ones. And I don't know, the colors don't mix amazingly, especially with that pattern throughout her torso and into the legs. Obviously the maroon on her, or dark red, not maroon. Yeah, the dark red looks nice on her. It fits Nia's color scheme because obviously her Samurai X past, she's always had it. And her original suit was the dark red. But yeah, it looks very nice. She's got her hair, headband combo. Yeah, not much else to say about Nia, but pretty nice figure. And if you want to get the 4+ set, if you don't want to get this massive thing, but if you're trying to collect all the regular ninja, you kind of need to get it. Plus, you also do need Zane, so you will need to get this set. speaking of Zane, our sixth and final figure is him. I think this design looks very nice. The icy pattern doesn't feel blocky like the earth pattern does on Cole, which I feel like they could have looked very similar because ice and earth are basically the same thing. One's just cold water, the other one's earth. But yeah, it looks very nice. The gold also looks nice. The dark red feels a bit off on Zane, but I'm not against it, honestly. I feel like if they put some into the torso, it would look much better. You can obviously see his titanium body underneath, and then he's got the white masterpiece, which is the same one Wu has in the Guardian Dragon. Just comes with the two swords and then his regular hairpiece. Obviously no other face print. But yeah, Zane looks nice and is, I won't say my favorite, but one of my favorites, I think, of the ninja suits, and definitely the strongest contender on why you should get this set if you're not a builds person, you're more of a minifigure person. But yeah, let's go on to the final thoughts and get this review finished. So that was the Temple Bounty. It is a magnificent set. Yes, some bits feel a bit flimsy at times, but it is a magnificent display piece. Obviously, you got your small bits of play if you want to use it as that, but it is more of the home for the ninja. That's what it really should be looked at for. So it's not so much about play, it's more you'll use two characters to fight on top of it. It's more of a display setting, but it's still got small play features, nothing crazy, and it does look magnificent, I will say. But yeah, figures are nice for the most part. There's some which I don't like, but yeah, thank you all for watching. That was my review of the Temple Bounty. I just have the last couple sets, smaller sets, so hopefully they won't take too long to record and come out. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. See y'all.